Salam! Hi guys! Welcome to Tat Cooking Show. Today I'm going to teach you how to bake this delicious pastry walnut rolls, which is really easy, crunchy, delicious, and it's easy to follow. Before starting it, if you feel like this content is really useful and you really like them, please don't forget to like and subscribe my channel. I really need your support to grow my channel. Thank you. Let's start it. We start by making the dough. For the dough, we need half a cup of Greek yogurt. Then we'll add a half a cup of room temperature melted butter to our yogurt and mix them together well. Make sure to use a Greek yogurt since the yogurt's moisture content can affect the results. After mixing everything together, we add half a cup of sugar to the mixture, along with 1 room temperature egg to bind the ingredients together, whisking them to the consistency you see in the video. Set the wet batter aside and mix 2½ cups of all-purpose flour with 2½ teaspoons baking powder. Gradually add the flour to the wet batter in multiple steps. Use the spatula to mix the flour into the batter, and when you feel it's getting hard to continue, switch to use your hands to finish mixing the flour. The flakiness of the dough at this stage really depends on the moisture of your yogurt. If your yogurt is less dense, your dough will be less flaky. After adding your flour, knead the dough until everything comes together. Transfer the dough to the bowl and cover it with a damp towel or plastic wrap. Let the dough to rest at room temperature for 1 hour. While waiting for the dough to rest, we will begin preparing the filling. Add ½ cup of walnut to the food processor along with 6 tablespoons sugar, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, ½ teaspoon cardamom, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and use the food processor to grind them into fine powder. If you want your cookies sweeter, you can add 1 to 2 tablespoons more sugar. The consistency of your filling should be similar to what I am showing you here in the video. Then transfer it to a mixing bowl. Here we will use our second egg. Separate the white from the yolk. We will be using the white for binding the filling of the rolls and setting aside the yolk for later. Mix the egg white with the powder until they bind together. Then set the filling aside. After resting the dough for 1 hour at room temperature, we divide the dough into 2 balls and work on each ball separately. Cover the second ball of the dough and set it aside. Dust your surface with the flour to prevent the dough from sticking. You can also dust both the top and bottom of the dough with flour as you see here. Use your rolling pin to flatten your dough. Then grab 2 sides of the dough and bring them into the center as you see in the video. Flatten the dough with your rolling pin and start to roll out the dough into an inch-thick sheet. Then again grab the 2 sides and bring them into the center and roll your dough again until it reaches about ½ inch in thickness. Trim the dough into a rectangular shape with your knife. My dough is about 8 inches by 11 inches here. Then, use half of your filling to spread over the dough. Leave 1 tablespoon of your filling for later, which I want to show you how to use it with leftover dough from trimming. After spreading the filling, roll your dough. We will use our egg yolk here. We also need black and white sesame seeds for garnishing. If you don't have sesame seeds, you can leave them out. Use your egg yolk to brush the dough. This will make it golden during baking. I also use a little bit of the yolk to seal the bottom of the dough, as you see here. I am using black and white sesame seeds to sprinkle on top of the rolls. This is optional, but will give a nice color and taste to your cookie rolls. You can also use either white or black sesame seeds if you don't have access to both. Cut the large roll into smaller sections, aiming for 1.5 inch thick rolls. Follow the same method for the second ball of the dough, flattening it into a rectangle with your rolling pin. Spread the filling and form it into a roll. Use a remaining egg yolk to brush the top and seal the bottom with the yolk. Sprinkle the sesame seeds and cut them into 1.5 inch thickness. After cutting them, place them onto a parchment or silicone layered baking sheet. Now I want to show you what to do with the leftover dough. You can use your rolling pin and roll the dough into a semicircle. Add your 1 teaspoon filling and fold the edges on top of each other. Use an egg yolk to seal the edges, then work with your hand and make it round like a ball. You can press the dough with your hand to flatten it a little bit. Brush the top with yolk and sprinkle it with some sesame seeds. Transfer your cookies into the preheated oven at 375 Fahrenheit and bake it for 25 to 30 minutes until they become golden on the top. And here is our very delicious buttery cookie roll. So by watching this video, you learned how to make this delicious, crunchy, flaky pastry roll. If you don't have any cardamom at your place, you can just leave it out. Also, I need to mention that make sure to use the Greek yogurt because the moisture content can affect the result. The other thing is that don't be afraid if the dough turns out to be flaky. The dough is kind of like a pie crust dough. It's flaky when you're rolling it. If it turns apart, just pinch them back and start working with your dough. And let's try it. Can't wait to show you how delicious this pastry is. Mm. 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 Walnut pairs really well with the cinnamon. Oh my god, you have to try it to see how I feel. It's really delicious. I really like it. And by the way, don't forget to like and subscribe and push down the bell notification. And see you in the next video. Stay tuned. Bye.